Welcome, race fans, here to the virtual Empire State. The second race of the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series playoffs is upon us. The high-speed roadie, that is Watkins, Glen International, poses the best chance for the cream to rise to the top. It's playoff time. Let's go. I am Emerson Arden, and I'm excited to be bringing you live coverage here from virtual Watkins, Glen, New York on VIRacing.com motorsport simulations platform. The Watkins Glen International has 11 turns, 7 to the right, 4 to the left, 3 prime passing opportunities at a track that I like to say is a Popeye's biscuit away from being an oval, but yet it is a fan favorite amongst fans and drivers alike, and we are in for a great time tonight here at Watkins Glen. I do apologize for the technical difficulties to kick things off this evening, but look no further than we are here at Watkins Glen. Let's go ahead and get into our point standings, and we'll take a look at what's going on here. And there they are, your point standings. Jeffrey Radke is locked in with, oh sorry, that is the wrong points. That is last night's points. We'll get the switch for you right here. The proper points coming your way. And there they are. Lane Hostler is locked in with his win last week at Texas. Joshua Balliet, Dean Brummett, they're well over 100 points. They should lock in on the green flag tonight. Ryan Johnson as well. Fifth place, Reese Schaefer, he might lock in if he gets some stage points tonight. And the rest, it is pretty much going to be the fight from there. The cut line. Michael Sturgill has 24 above the cut line. He is okay, but he can't have a bad day today and next week. He's going to have at least some sort of decent run over the course of the next 2 weeks. We're looking at Sean Jensick, who is 2 points above that cut line. Kyle Vincent Gilbert, Kyle Westwood, Austin Purnell, Michael Politis, Bobby Anderson, all on that cut line battle. Politis and Anderson, they could use some great runs tonight, and I'll be looking to do that tonight as we head back here to Watkins Glen International. Again, a beautiful sight here. Ready to do battle tonight is the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series drivers. Let's go ahead and get the qualifying times up on your screen. 15 drivers have set times tonight. Still waiting on Landon Cardula, Byron McDonough, Connor Cunningham, Gabriel Ellis, and Dean Brummett to set times this evening, but I don't believe they are doing so. So that is how your qualifying order is so far. You have Joshua Balliet, our Sonoma race winner, atop the qualifying sheet. Reese Schaefer, his teammates there in second. Brian McAvoy, the only driver who was within breathing distance of Balliet at Sonoma. I think it was about 4 or 5 seconds back of him, but was running with him until he sped at Sonoma on that final round of pit stops. Looking to do better with that tonight. Jensick and Johnson then the top 5. 15 drivers to set time here at Watkins Glen as qualifying will come to a close here at Watkins Glen. It's been a phenomenal ride to get to this point. We had a great race last week at Texas. Lane Hostler outlasts with fuel and strategy and all that jazz to get the victory at Texas. Balliet looked, he was in surefire path to get victory at Texas, but the fuel could not last. He'll look to redeem himself with a great race tonight at the Roadie. So the starting grid is up on your screen as we speak. Joshua Balliet with the pole position. Reese Schaefer to his outside will start in second. Brian McAvoy, Sean Jensick then row 2. Ryan Johnson and Lane Hostler, the pilot drivers, make up 5th and 6th. Brad Herman, Blake Kensley 7th and 8th. Michael Politis and Lane Doyle then the top 10. Looking at the rest of the starting grid, Michael Sturgill will be 11th, Kyle Westwood 12th, Austin Purnell 13th, Kyle Vincent Gilbert 14th, Daniel Butler 15th. The last driver to set time tonight here at Watkins Glen, Dean Brummett. Landon Cardullo returning to Speed Racing Network action in replacement of Bobby Anderson. Connor Cunningham starts 18th, Byron McDonald, Gabriel Ellison then. But 20 drivers looking to get to racing action tonight here from Watkins Glen. A fun one is on tap for tonight. The drivers are grading up. We're getting ready to do battle tonight. And I do believe I do have a Will Tiller to join me alongside Vakal this evening. Will, how about it? Welcome aboard.
I'm ready to rock and roll here at the Glen. Some road course racing. We saw this spectacular one-on-one action last night. Will we see the same type of finish here in this series? A few more laps on the board. That only creates more chaos.
You're right, a few more laps are on the board. Tonight's race is 55 laps as opposed to last night's 45 lapper. The stage is at lap 15 as opposed to lap 12 last night. A little bit more room, more fluidity in the strategy tonight. As I imagine, we're going to see a similar strategy to last night, Will, which is where drivers went split strategy. You ever raced for the eventual win or, track position at the end of the race? Or you were having the points race and have to focus on stage points. We may see that very well occur tonight.
Exactly, Emerson, and I think it's the same thing that I mentioned last night. It's staying patient in the race, minding your time. This is not a super speedway. This is not a high bank racetrack. There's only a certain amount of corners you can make those moves, that you can make those aggression play off. So last night, the bus stop ate up a few drivers. That very first corner ate up a few drivers. Can these drivers stay consistent, stay clean, and then have a shot at the win?
Well, once again, welcome aboard here. I'll get you all set up here to do some racing action tonight here with the Glytch Truck Series drivers. 20 drivers in tonight's race, and a little bit of a lower truck count for this field. But of course, it is playoffs, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So even with all that, we are going to be a-okay for a great race tonight. And so the field rounding their way atop VS's, Will, if I were to put you on the spot here, we got a couple great drivers there on the front row. What would you think is, or who would you pick to get it done tonight here at Watkins Glen?
Looking at tonight's race, Emerson, it was tough last night. I picked Andrew Harrison at 87, but looking at this field, looking at this grid, I got to go with a guy that's been absolutely on fire the last couple weeks. That's Joshua Ballette there at the top. He's just absolutely dominating. Of course, it's going to be a different animal tonight with the road course, the left, rights, the shifting, all that stuff. But I think that 7 is just got to lock in here. The last couple weeks, he's got to be the clear-cut championship favorite as well.
Absolutely. He's looking to redeem himself from that horrible strategy at Texas that saw him leading with 3 laps to go and having to come down the pit lane. Then I'm sure that one hurt himself big time. I'm looking for someone that could also be looking for some redemption. And Brian McAvoy, the driver who was running second all race at Sonoma, ended up speeding on pit road, took him out of a great finish. I look for Brian McAvoy to bounce back today. So here we go, a field of 20 speed racing and where Glytch Truck Series vehicles getting ready to do battle here in the Empire State. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. The field is in the hands of Joshua Ballette, and we are racing from Watkins Glen. One lap complete here at Watkins Glen as Joshua Ballette out in front by 7/10 of a second on the opening lap. Ballette already looking to walk the field 8/10. Just as I was mentioning it, he's gained 2/10.
Yeah, he's definitely separating. We're also seeing big gaps within the field as well. Reese Schaefer has about almost a second lead on Jessic there in second. McAvoy is trailing now behind of Sean by about a second and a half. So big gaps already 2 laps in.
Everybody using all that curbing that's available to them in the bus stop. And here's the meat of the field here. How about the 66 now? This is Dean Brummett now in the 66. He switched from that 31 into the 66. A number change for one of the winningest drivers on the season. And here he is trying to size up his teammate, Austin Purnell.
Hey, just like Kobe Bryant, you go from the 8 to the 24. Sometimes that change in number can be that confidence that he needs. Emerson, you see him here in this field rocking a different paint scheme, different numbers, so it could be the little mojo he needs to work up through the field. Looking good so far in that 66.
side by side as they battle down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Brummett clears by teammate Austin Purnell, and he'll be moving himself up into that 13th position. Up the road, Danny Baldler, Lane Doyle, a couple drivers trying to solidify themselves forward. Will Baldler get started last in terms of the top drivers who qualify. It's already up 3 spots. We got trucks in the wall. Landon Cardulo, first time back in the truck, and it's already looking rough for the 31 machine.
Yeah, this is the type of track, Emerson, you can't afford any type of mistakes. You go off the racetrack here, it's sort of like rugby or soccer. There's no stoppage of play. There's no yellow flags unless it's a serious pileup, which we did see last night, Emerson. We saw a few trucks pile up. That yellow flag did wave. But if it's a single truck accident like this, you're not going to get that break to try to catch back up to the field. You're going to put in all that work, those seconds, just to catch one guy.
Absolutely. That caution that came out for the stage yesterday, but there was that 3-truck incident. They're off of turn number 11 right at pit entry. The race did stay green. Ben Park, of course, taking the biggest hit out of that incident. And we continue on. Checking in on race leader Joshua Balliet. He is already up 2 seconds on his teammate Reese Schaefer. 3 seconds on Jensic, and nearly 5 seconds over 4th place.
And Emerson, as we watch our leader go into the bus stop, one of the things that we talked about last night is different factors in this race, the shifting. And I think, in my opinion, Emerson, it's not just the upshifting, downshifting. Of course, you got to do that at a speedway race. It's the ability to downshift, upshift, and accelerate at the same time. I think that's one of the most difficult aspects of IR racing is to master that. Master that acceleration, that shifting at the same point to make sure you have the high enough RPMs to carry you through the corner. If you don't time it just right, Emerson, that truck's going to slide underneath you, and sometimes you can blow engines as well. We saw that last night.
Yeah, those drivers in the 5er truck series, they were really struggling for grip, and we're starting to see it. Whoa, nearly into the wall was Blake Hensley up in front of Michael Pilatus, and Connor Cunningham has had an incident.
Whoa, no!
Oh, they landed Cardulo hard into the inside wall.
Oh, that might bring out a caution as he is stopped on the racetrack. That's the 31. Again, and Emerson, I have been in his shoes. Sometimes a race is just not yours. You look up at that scoring pylon and realize it's only lap 5, but he's in the wall again.
Trying to get to pit road, and that'll do it for Landon Cardulo. No, there will not be any cautions. I don't believe race control will throw one unless there's a track blockage. I think that's the only reason race control would throw a yellow. But here we go with Connor Cunningham battling it out with Dean Brummett. Bobbles through the downshift to turn 10 and loses control on corner exit. Comes back across the track. And Cardulo pounds the wall separately of that.
Watching our field so far, it looks like Sean is gaining on Reese Schaefer there for that 2nd spot. He's got that down to only a second between those two. We might have a battle for a podium spot as, again, we saw another incident out of the 31. This is what causes that frustration. He's going to back up into that wall, and it's just going to be just an avalanche, a snowball effect there for the 31, and you can tell a few laps into this race, he's done with the Glen.
Yeah, so this was what happened to him. He came off that painted curb, which I mentioned a little bit yesterday, Will. That curbing is painted, and there's a lack of grip when you drive over that. And he felt that. He came off the curbing. The truck settled wrong. At the same time, also trying to avoid the parked truck of Connor Cunningham. The truck was just shot to the right, to driver's right, nosed it into the guardrail. And then he, I believe, wanted to pit last second, downshifted a little too late, and nosed it back into the guardrail again. And so out in front, it's Balliet, 3 seconds over Reese Schaefer. You were mentioning Sean Jensic, just under a second behind Reese Schaefer and trying to close that gap. And here he is.
As we're watching this play out here, this is the Glytch Truck Series. After this race, Emerson, we only have one more race in the round of 15. So this is the race, even though it is spaced out, it is gapped out. It looks like we do have a battle for position, though. Sturgill and Hensley might be going at it here momentarily for that 8th spot.
Here we go, Sturgill on his de facto teammate side by side, and Sturgill will clear by Blake Hensley.
Good move out of the 90 there. Emerson just dove to the inside, very clean.
Whoa! Fighting back though, Hensley, and that could have been a bad spot if they got together there at the bottom of the hill where the trucks are just shifting weight. He could have gone into the back of Sturgill there, and that would have been trouble. It looks like everyone sorts it out. We're going to continue on here. Michael Politis there in the 77 wants a piece of the action. We'll see how he takes to the struggling Blake Hensley.
This is really where the race is at. As you see the 7 checking out from the field, of course, we're going to get that stage break at lap 15. But really, Emerson, we just mentioned it. These are playoff races. You want a top 10 position in that stage. Although you might not have the truck to win, this may not be your best track. This might not be your favorite track by any means. You still want to try to get as many stage points as possible because you're running out of opportunity to do so. As right now, we have a battle on the racetrack. I believe this is to stay inside the top 10.
So this is down in that 13th, 14th, 15th complex here. This is Purnell, Westwood, and Kyle Vincent Gilbert. But if some bad luck happens to some of their competitors, this could become a battle for a spot inside the top 10. But all three of these guys, they were on top of one another. Coming out of carousel, Lane Doyle has wrecked it off of turn number 1.
Lane Doyle, you see it again, how tough that first corner is, Emerson. It's literally a 90-degree corner. You have to downshift, get everything down, slow down into that corner, caress down and on the inside. We'll watch this replay here, what happened.
Here's the 47 of Lane Doyle. Really charging the corner. Misses the apex, gets over that painted curbing, and the truck settles wrong on the landing.
Oh, Emerson, you saw the 47. He thought he could save it. He said, I'll just go a little wide here. I'll be okay. And then that tail just starts to slide, and it is spaghetti-o there for the 33.
Daniel Baldler in trouble in the 6 machine. Sloops it out of the carousel. And, oh, he's not running the right livery on that thing. That's a Chevy livery on a Toyota. But, going at it nonetheless is Daniel Baldler. Right here, this is Purnell trying to stay up in front of Kyle Westwood, Kyle Vincent Gilbert, the Kyles.
Yeah, and he's in a great spot. He just needs to gain some speed. Right now, you see about 7 seconds between the 11th and 10th positions on the racetrack right now. For a lot of these guys outside of the top 10, yeah, you're going to get that stage break that's going to put you back in the pack. And they're really racing it out here, Emerson, as we watch them take the corner. But you want to make sure, though, at the end of this race, you want to get inside that top 10. These guys inside the top 10, they're going to get stage points. They're going to be in that driver's seat come playoff time. After Dover next week, we're going to go down to 10 drivers. So this is crunch time for some of these guys.
We have the Kyle and Kyle show. That's what's going on here for 13th position. Right now, Kyle Westwood has the upper hand in 12th over Kyle Vincent Gilbert. Now, the thing to note is, most of these guys will also pit here at the stage, or, in about 2 laps here for their strategy, for the split strategy call that we saw yesterday. So we don't exactly know who all is going for stage points. I would just imagine drivers like Jensick, who's only 2 points above the cut line, drivers below the cut line, they're going to be going for stage points, while drivers like Balliet and Brummett, they locked in pretty much on the green flag tonight, they're probably going to go for track position.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Josh is just thinking about where he's going to have his victory dinner here tonight, because in this very first stage, we're going to rock it down to lap 15. But Emerson, he's got 6 seconds on the field, 10 laps in. We're going to have that reset lap 15. He gets to another 6-second, 7-second lead. It is going to be nearly impossible for anybody to knock him off the top of the grid.
And I'll break the fourth wall a little bit, Will. And the timing and scoring that we use, I mentioned to you last night that the ratings there, this is their road-specific ratings. Balliet, he is a 4,000 I rating on the road side of the sim. The only one who comes close is Brian McAvoy. He's a 3,000. And after that, the only one who comes close to that is Gabriel Ellison, who didn't start the race at a 2,300, and Michael Politis at a 2,000. Everyone else has a sub 2,000 road iRating. And to run the road cars here on iRacing, yes, you can. Now iRacing is updated to where if you run the road courses in stock cars, it counts to your road rating. It didn't initially do that. I think it was an update in 2022 or at the end of 2021 that set that up. But it's a whole different style of car, a whole different style of racing, and this is, I mean, now obviously Balliet, he's got the oval side nailed down, or else we wouldn't be talking about him as a title favorite. But it's a whole different driving style. He's kind of mastered both. That you would see the similar out of like road ringers back in the day.
Yeah, and what comes to mind immediately, Emerson, is almost like an AJ Allmendinger style of driver, where he can win on a super speedway and also jump in a road course and win there too. So you're seeing almost the same style out of Joshua in that 7.
Battle here. This is for the 4th position. McAvoy trying to fend off teammates Ryan Johnson and Lane Hostler. 3 of the pilot trucks all nose to tail here in that 4th position battle. Let's see if Ryan Johnson can find a way to slip through with his teammate up in front.
Yeah, it's a tight battle right here as we're counting down the laps in stage number 1. We're riding on board with Johnson. Can you get around McAvoy for that 4th spot? This is very important, Emerson, as we're going to reset lap 15. You can be right in that podium position on that restart, but it looks as though that gap's going to stay where it's at for now as we come down the hill. We're going to make it just about 3 laps to go in stage number 1.
So here comes Balliet, and he'll be able to pit next lap if he so likes. But we're now talking, if you're gonna pit before the stage, you gotta pit now. Schaefer is gonna stay out. Jensick, and now we're talking McAvoy. Here comes McAvoy.
And we saw that last night, Emerson. Some drivers decided to pit before that stage break. Some drivers headed down during that stage break. And even at the end of that race, drivers still stuck to their own strategies. So this whole pitting before the stage break or pitting at the stage break, I didn't really see any advantages to it last night, Emerson, as you're still going to have that green flag pit stop at the end of this race. So it's a curious move, in my opinion.
I think it gives you track position at a track that's very difficult to complete overtakes on. I like the call. You see it done by the real drivers in real life, so I guess there's something to it. And again, track position will do most of the heavy lifting on an oval. Same here on a road course. The field gets so spread out after you get through the opening lap of a restart. You almost have to go for track position if you value your points at the end of the race. And Balliet is going to continue on, so he will not be pitting here at the end of stage number 1, or before the end of stage. We're just going to lock pit road. So the only drivers who have pitted that will be able to take advantage of the pit stops at the stage will be Brian McAvoy, Michael Politis, and Dean Brummett. And Sean Jensen comes in, but that's a closed pit lane. This could be a penalty.
Yeah, as he's down pit road in that 29. Now, my question to you, Emerson, in these playoff races, of course, if it was a regular season, I would always agree that track position is the way to go. But if you're trying for stage points, would you want to head down for that track position? Or are you trying to garner as many points as you can here in this first stage?
Well, so that's the thing, right? I was kind of mentioning that, drivers like Balliet and Brummett, they don't have to worry about stage points. They are locked in on points. Schaefer, he 85 points above the cut line. Stage points won't do him too much better, Drivers like Jensick, I actually probably should have stayed out. And now he got himself a penalty for entering a closed pit. This is huge for a driver who was above the cut line only by 2 points, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and we saw the same thing last night, too. Jacob Zala started that race late, could never find his ground, started the race 2 laps down, ended the race, I believe, 3 or 4 laps down. That hurt him a lot there in that points table, although very, very safe there for Jacob Zala last night's series. We could be saying the same thing here tonight. That one strategy call could cost the 29 a lot of playoff points.
There's one person who's not worried about any of that, and that is the 7 of Joshua Balliet with a 7-second advantage. I mean, that's nearly a 1 second gained for every 2 laps ran. He is absolutely dominating the field. If you look at the best lap time, I don't know if there's no one else on the track that has ran a sub 113, and Balliet ran a 112.4 in that opening stage. Into turn 10 for the final time in stage 1. Joshua Balliet has just one more corner to separate him and a stage victory.
And Emerson, it's spooky season. It's Halloween. Do you want to hear a scary story?
Right after Joshua Balliet wins here in stage number 1. And Schaefer will come across in second, Johnson third. Go for it, Will.
The scary story is that the 7's only going to get faster after this pit stop and the stage break.
Oh, yeah. And there's the yellow. They're just going to throw it now before everyone crosses the line, because 10th place is just rounding turn 10. We're going to be under caution for a while. So they're just going to solidify the stage results now. Nobody's battling anybody for position. And so the stage results go: Balliet, Schaefer, Johnson, Hostler, Sturgill, Herman, Hensley, Purnell, Westwood, and Kyle Vincent Gilbert.
And what a stage there for the 7. Obviously, my pick coming into this race, he was kind of a cliche pick as he started on the front row. But I looked at other results heading into this race. He's just found his footing underneath those good Eagles. We look at his I rating here at a road course. It's obvious that he's the favorite here. You know, can he keep this going, go to Dover? We have some interesting tracks to end out the season. It looks as though he'll cruise to another victory here tonight. Emerson, the race not over. We're just at the first stage.
100%.
But boy, the way that he is putting on a tutorial here tonight, it's going to be anybody that wants to tune in and see how to race the Glen. It looks like tonight's that race to tune into.
Absolutely. The only one, I think, in SRN that is bested Balliet on road course, and even then, Balliet's gotten the best of him sometimes, is Adrian Schumacher. Now,
yeah,
the side note is, this is the first year we've ever had a Dustin Montgomery and a Tyler Justice, and so Balliet has not ran against those guys head-to-head on the road course. But Adrian Schumacher, who we'll see tomorrow, is probably the closest thing you'll get to mirror images here. Balliet and Adrian Schumacher, and the best part about that, they're teammates. And I mean, I'm also a tank racing driver. That's what I was running with before I stepped into the booth. I was there for those practices. They made me better just being in the same vicinity as them, and they push each other. They compare lap times all the time, and so they're good just going into a practice session. Then they get better trying to outdo one another throughout an entire practice session. I mean, it is something else to practice with those guys on a road course. And Schaefer, you know, their second, that easily could have just been directly as a result of, you know, having Balliet to lean on here on the road courses, learning where the braking zones are, what gears to run into corners. It really is something else when it comes to road courses and super speedways with tank racing. The practice and the preparation is out of this world.
Yeah, and Emerson and I, the key word and everything that you were just talking about, practice. Practice makes perfect. As Allen Iverson once said, we're talking about practice here on SRN, and you see the results, though, Emerson. It's funny, it's cliche, where, you know, repetition, it makes perfect. But you talked about all the lap times, all the track time, everything that these guys spend together. They work together. They share notes. They share tips on how to take on each other. And sometimes when you see those one-on-one battles between those teammates, you can really see all that practice coming to fruition and how good they really are.
It's great.
And again, we're seeing the same thing in this race.
It's seldom we see it now, especially now that they're in two different series. But when they would race against one another, oh man, it's great. So the field coming down the pit lane, Sean Jensick stays out. We'll see if he is penalized for the closed pit lane, though. McAvoy, Politis, Brummett, they stay out as well. And down is and away is the field. I'll take this opportunity to speak to our stage winner, driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet. And Mal, 7.5 seconds there. It's at the end of stage 1. Is that gap suffice for you?
The gap was alright. I was kind of just chilling once I got to about 4 seconds, just not trying to overdrive the car, make mistakes, just chill.
Well, here you are. This is going to be the first time you're in traffic today, and similar, I guess, to how you started at Sonoma, where you've had trucks in front of you. Different scenario for the restart. How do you attack it?
Well, hopefully by the time you're through turn 1 or something, you've got to buy at least these 2 of them, I would say. If you're by at least, if I'm by Dean and Politis, by the time I get to like the bottom of the S, I'm pretty comfortable with that, and it should be easy to go after the next 2 for the next how many laps?
Now, I was looking at it, and I don't know if, I know you run some overlays. I don't know if you're privy to this information, but looking at the lap times, it is out of this world. You're at a 12.4 as your fastest lap. The next closest is a 13.1. This is some competition you have to go toe-to-toe with on the weekly. It's not slouches in here, but you running a 12.4 in a field like this, well, what does that say about you?
Well, just that it shows that I'm one of the best there is, not just in the league, on the service at road course racing, just trying to get better and excel at everything, but it is something I already got down.
Right, well, here, this is going to be a 36 lap run to the checkers. I know you're not a big fan of fuel strategy, but it's going to be close on fuel. How do you see yourself playing this one out?
I think it's a comfortable one stop for, me and all the people that pit. I think it's a little closer for the people that decide to pit on like 12 for their, the short pit, because they had to pit on 12 because I got so far ahead. So I think it's a bit closer for those people, but other than that, I think we're fine.
Right on. Well, starting from the 5th position on this restart, but picking up a stage victory here at Watkins, Glen. Best luck to you the rest of the way. That was driver of the number 7, our stage 1 winner here, Joshua Balliet. And what do you take from that interview?
I take a guy who's not happy with his run so far, even though winning the stage by 7 seconds. He feels like he could do a little bit better, and I think it just shines on his championship drive, his eagerness to get better. Emerson, if I won a stage on a road course by 8 seconds, I would be thrilled to death. The 7 machine wants more in this race. Watch out here in these next 30 laps.
I think watch out has been the phrase ever since he got his first win on the season. Watch out, he's starting to get hot. And here we are in the thick of the playoffs and trying to go for his 5th win. Now, of course, as you said, the race isn't over, and we're not crowning him just yet because there are still 36 laps to go here, Will. And Sean Jensick, Brian McAvoy, Dean Brumman, Michael Politis on old tires, yes, by about 4 or 5 laps, but they are ahead of the 7 truck. It's going to be intriguing for this restart.
Absolutely. Can anybody keep the 7 at bay? Can Schaefer make a move up there? Can Politis? Can Drummond up there as well? We're going to watch here what this restart's going to really show the rest of the way. The 7's got some positions to work through, Emerson. Let's kick it off.
The iRacing.com safety vehicles in the safety of pit lane. The green flag is flying via Barney. Racing commences once again from the Empire State. Balliet sends it up the middle, 3 wide. Is already working to the outside of Michael Politis as they go up the hill.
Yeah, wasting no time going to the outside here in the first corner, climbing up the hill. The 7 will stay to the outside. Very clean here in this first lap under green as we're progressing up the hill. Jensick still leading the way in that 29. McAvoy there in second. McAvoy was the second highest road course racer coming into this race behind the 7. Can he make a move as we come through the bus stop?
Saw Dean Brumman get very sideways to the top of the hill. through the bus stop. Sean Jensen got a beautiful restart, a 1.8 second advantage as he rounds it up off the carousel. Brian McAvoy second, Politis third, and Balliet trying to find a way by.
There's almost contact between the 7 and the 77 as Ballet's to the inside of McAvoy. He'll get that position as he is slicing and dicing up through the field. Jensic, though, he has got a little lead on the field now, almost up to 3 seconds on Ballet in that 7.
2.3 seconds is his gap over Joshua Balliet. Is that enough to keep Balliet back? Now the thing is, he has 4 lap older tires than Joshua Balliet. We already saw Balliet can outrun the field on equal level tires. Battle back here. This is Sturgill and Johnson. Sturgill shuts the door on Ryan Johnson as they work their way up the hill. Politis now under attack by Reese Schaefer. This is the battle for 4th going on.
Yeah, watching the battle for 4th. Michael Politis up 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. He is on the back bumper of the 7. You see McAvoy's shot right there. He's looking at his rear view. You see everybody's very clean. Emerson as we start things off here through the bus stop, 21 laps in. We're not seeing the same separation we saw there in stage 1. This could really open the door for anybody's races as Ballet's battling for 2nd.
Balliet got to the inside of Brian McAvoy of the carousel, and he's already cleared to 2nd. Now the gap 2.2 seconds, 2.1 now as he soars it out of turn number 10. Now make it under 2 seconds through turn 11.
Yeah, he's definitely moving and grooving, just trying to stay confident in that 7. But you see behind him, Emerson, all those spots for top 10 positions. They're all very close. We have Herman, we have Brummett, Holzer right there, Johnson, Sturgill. Everybody's just so close to one another. Anybody could come out of this group with possibly a top 5.
So here's where those strategies mesh, and you heard Balliet. He said it's a comfortable 1 stop if you put it at the stage yellow. But if you're a driver like Jensic, McAvoy, Politis, or Brummett, you could be in trouble. So intriguing that Sean Jensic was able to pit with 2 laps to go to the stage. Don't know if they have let go of the pit exit or entry violation, but whatever it is, it's gotten us a decently intriguing situation out in front of this field as Sean Jensic has a 1.7 second lead over Balliet. But the last time we were here, that 2nd was up by half a second. Now making 6 tenths the gap last time through turn number 10. Jensic has a 1.4 second advantage.
Yeah, Balliet is definitely coming. Last time around the Glen, he ran a 1:12. As mentioned, Emerson's still the only driver to run a sub 1:13. Let's see what it is this time across the lines with the 7 puts up for a lap time. Again, he runs
goodness.
a 1:12.7. Emerson so fast.
By the way, everyone's on a fixed setup. This is, everyone's on the exact same setup when it comes to, under the virtual hood and all that. This is just extracting the most out of the truck. That is what, the 7 is doing here. There's not, not any way for him to, fail tech inspection or anything. This is just straight up mano a mano.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still got to get that lead, though. That's the one thing. I don't think Sean's going to make it easy. He knows the 7's going to come up there. He's going to put some pressure on him, but we'll jump back up here into these battles for top 10s. You see everybody just trying to scrap it out as we have something loose back there. Emerson, it's getting wild inside the top 10.
Oh, yeah, it is. Something to note here, Schaefer, he's been on the back tailgate of Michael Politis' 77 truck for a while here, has not been able to find a way past yet. Schaefer just biding his time, but the more he does that, the more he allows Balliet to open the gap in what was, the top 2 at the end of stage 1. Here comes Hostler pushing Ryan Johnson down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Balliet's still eating up that lead, has it now down to less than a second. These 2 trucks have separated from that 3rd place position of McAvoy, who's been running a pretty good race here tonight. Emerson, my hat's off to the 79 as well. He's been solid inside of the top 5. He's been on that podium. Politis has been very strong. Schaefer, though, I'm watching here in this run, he slipped down the grid. He's gone from about 3rd down to 5th. And here on a road course, that's a lot of spots.
Well, yes, but that's all because of the split strategy at the stage. Schaefer didn't lose any spots on the track. That was all via pit cycle and the caution. And so he's actually made up one spot since the restart on Dean Brummett, and he's now looking to try to work his way past Politis. He just hasn't been able to do so.
No, and it's tough. I mentioned it to kick off this broadcast here. Only a certain amount of points here at the Glen that you can actually make a pass at. The rest of the track, you basically have to play follow the leader, and that's what Valiette's doing here in this 7. Just playing follow the leader, following Sean around the racetrack. Valiette knows the Glen. He knows what corners to basically pounce, to attack in. One could be one of those as he looks to the inside here. It wasn't there. We're seeing the patience out of the 7. Emerson just laying low, keeping it cool behind the 29, because he knows when that opportunity comes up, he's going to go flying by.
Here we go. I think it's coming here. Valiette's looking to get a good run. Who can put the power down more? Slipping and sliding at the top of the hill. Valiette's got to run. Is he going to send it here into the bus stop? That's a prime passing opportunity. He says no, he'll live to fight another day. In Valiette's eyes, there's no reason to push. He knows he's got the pace. He just wants to make it quick and easy, but doesn't want to put himself in a bad spot here. They go through the carousel. Turn number 9. One more time, working lap 25 of 55.
Yeah, Valiette will go way wide there on the corner just to feel those rumble strips on the exit. He looks to the inside of Jensic. No, he's going to wait another corner to get around. He follows right back behind him. It's just a game of follow the leader as the 7 looks to the outside. Big pass here. Emerson, can he get it done on the outside? No, he runs out of room.
He's still out there trying it, though. It's not over. But Jensic will close the door, and now Valiette with the crossover to send into turn 1. Jensic avoids the lunge from Valiette, and Valiette goes on through as Schaefer has gone by Michael Politis at the exact same time.
Oh, we might have to check out a replay of that action there, Emerson, because I think the 29 may have gotten a little bit of in skateboarding terms, speed wobbles are a little sketched out by the 7 being to the inside. He didn't know what to do. He didn't want to come down the racetrack and make contact with the 7. He just had to let that truck basically do its thing and leave the corner.
Here we go. Right on board. Oh, you know what? Jensic. First of all, he was off the line coming into the corner, but he drove it so hard into the corner, he almost missed the turn. I mean, he was driving so hard.
Valiette's there, so you can't get that truck back down.
Yeah. He was driving so hard into the corner, and that's what you got to do. I mean, if you feel like you don't have, the proper turns, you got to get yourself, as much speed as you can into the corner, try to beat him to the center of the corner. And there was Schaefer. He got by Politis to the inside of the carousel.
Brad Herman, he just moved up inside of the top 10 there. The 85 is moving up through the field. Michael Politis, we saw him inside the top 5. He slipped just a little bit. Emerson, he's down to 8th. A lot of these positional battles are really from about 6th to about 10th on the racetrack. Other than that, we are seeing some big gaps forming here late in this race.
Dean Brummett, big time bobble onto curbing out at turn number 1, and then a big time bobble over to curbing there, entering turn 2. So Dean Brummett, big time bobble out over to curbing in turn 4. Dean Brummett, he might have to stay off the curbs here. They are not his friend.
Absolutely not. As we come through the bus stop here, there's a lot of curbs to watch out for here. Going to keep that truck together. And this is an endurance race too, Emerson, at the Glen. It's one of those where you put some laps in there, you go around a couple times, you're like, boy, I'm doing good here tonight. You look up, you're only about 2 laps into this race. So 27 laps here at the Glen. You still have about 30 so laps to go. So you got to really maintain, keep it together, keep your patience for some of these guys inside the top 10. You've done all of that, but can you get the job done?
Exactly. I 100% agree with the analogy. This is an endurance stint here. This is 55 laps at Watkins Glen in one sitting. You hear 55 laps, at a road course. That's, a full F1 race. You hear 55 laps at a road course. That's one stint in a sports car race. And that is a full NASCAR race as well here at Watkins Glen. And these drivers, they're going for it. Now, I think what makes it harder is, and even though you're doing it, of course, virtually, and here we got a battle here. This is going to be Ryan Johnson on Sturgill, side by side down the back. We'll pick up on the analogy later. He'll send it into the bus stop. Ryan Johnson, he'll clear by Michael Sturgill up to 5th, goes to 38.
What a smooth move out of the 38 there. He just sent Johnson or sent Sturgill up the track, went to the inside, went flying through the bus stops. Looks like a little bobsled action there at the 38. Looked clean as we jump back up here just a few spots. Here's another one-on-one battle at the Glen.
Battle for 3rd. McAvoy trying to fend off Reese Schaefer. Schaefer trying to get himself up onto that podium. And a huge bobble there out of turn 11, but Schaefer keeps the power down. He keeps that truck pointed right. He pulls out the pass. Can he send it into 1? Hard on the binders. Down towards the apex. Schaefer, oh, beautifully done. McAvoy trying to get the crossover. Schaefer over the painted curbing on exit, but Schaefer closes the door. He clears through out of turn 2.
Yeah, that was a good exit out of that corner to keep that momentum rolling there out of Schaefer. McAvoy comes into this race. Oh, we have a wreck on the racetrack. That's a 13.
Blake Hensley in trouble out of turn number 1. And I'm starting to think, well, last night, turn 11 was a calamity corner for the 5er guys. Turn 1 might be the calamity corner for these Glytch guys.
And in my opinion, it's the toughest corner of the entire racetrack. The ability to go down from about 4th gear, you're flying down that front stretch, Emerson. To get that thing all the way down to about 2nd gear, you basically have to hit the brakes, get it to a 90-degree angle, and then get back on the shifter and the gas pedal at the same time without spinning out. So that's an incredibly difficult corner here at the Glen.
Something happens here to Brad Herman. We just mentioned Brad Herman. Here he goes into the bus stop. Oh, contact with Dean Brummett. He goes around.
Ooh, we were waiting for some calamity at the bus stop, and we got it, Emerson.
First time this week. Oh, well, we had a spin through the bus stop yesterday, but that was contact through the bus stop.
Yeah, and that's not the position in the racetrack you want that contact. As still we have some head-to-head battles here inside of this top 10. And Valiette has taken that lead at the top and just absolutely checked out again as Emerson. That lead's now back up to 6.5 seconds. The most important positions, though, is right here. We're watching it live here on SRN. These are playoff races. Every position, every point counts as we come to the bus stop with 25 to go.
Slipping and sliding was Kyle Vincent Gilbert, Dean Brummett, Austin Purnell, and Daniel Baldler atop the hill coming out of the S's. These drivers are leaving it all on the track as they go at it here in this spirited battle for the 9th position. Dean Brummett closing the gap, eating up that deficit. Now misses the entry into turn 10. Now Brummett now going wide under attack from teammate Austin Purnell. They'll be side by side at turn 11.
Yeah, teammate versus teammate here. Hats off to the 66 of Brummett, though. He's bounced back in this race, faced some adversity. I believe he spun out as well, did that early pit stop in the race. But for some reason, the 66 is just not giving up in this race. Emerson finds himself inside the top 10. Those are the money positions, as I've mentioned during this broadcast. That's where you want to be here in the playoffs, inside the top 10, possibly even top 5. But it is a road course, very hard. Brummett, though, looking good. He's got some heat coming up on him, though, Emerson. Some of these guys outside the top 10, they want to get in here as these laps are ticking down.
Yeah, and for Dean, he's pretty much locked himself into the next round of the playoffs. This is just the momentum round. Can Dean have a good time tonight? Can Dean put that truck in the right spot? Can Dean work the strategy right? Take what you can from this race, as much as you can, because this is a road course, on to the rest of the playoffs. Because he's locked in. He doesn't have to worry about his result necessarily, but more he has to think about ways to improve his result should he be in this position later in the playoffs.
Yeah, this is where you want to be, 32 laps in this race. But still, we're seeing a logjam here amongst these positions with Brummett, Gilbert, and Boulder right there as well. Nobody can really get around each other. I think we're just all waiting for guys to make mistakes. As here goes the 17 to the inside. See if he can get that spot. Will he clear Emerson? He will. That's a solid pass to the 17.
Up Vies's Reese Schaefer gets back to that second position. Last time he was in second, he was 7.5 seconds back. And Dean Brummett has had a crash. We were just watching Dean
no.
Brummett. We'll see what happened to Dean. Again, tied for the most wins on the season. Was
in the
this
top 10?
Yeah. Here we go. Down to turn 1. Oh, he gets into the back of Kyle Vincent Gilbert. And then trying to turn the truck, goes over the curbing on that outside runoff area. And is that it? That's it for Dean.
Oh, man, that's unfortunate there for Dean Brummett. I think he realized there with that mistake, he's going to lose everything he was racing for. And you mentioned the accolades there for Dean this season. This is a race that he can basically bundle up and throw it in the trash can tonight.
Yep. And that may have been it for Dean, right? You know, there's no need to get mad. There's no need to make enemies here. That's the last thing you want to do when you're locked into the next round of playoffs, is to make someone else mad. Because then that's going to hurt you the rest of the way. So what Dean did there, you know, he got into Kyle Vincent Gilbert and he said, you know what? Let me just get out of here.
Absolutely. And you've seen a few early retirees out of here in this race. Brummett, Herman, looking at McDonald, Doyle, Carlardo there, Cunningham, Ellison out of this race. So we're looking at around 6 guys who all had the same sentiments as you did. Emerson, just not feeling the Glen, not feeling the road course. One guy, though, that is absolutely loving tonight's race is Joshua Balliet up here at the top. Now has a 10-second lead, and we still got 20 laps to go.
Battle here between Ryan Johnson and Brian McAvoy. Johnson has gone past his teammate Brian McAvoy in this battle for 4th. And off of turn number 11, Ryan Johnson trying to work his way forward. He has a chance if he can get the Sean Jensick to podium out of this race.
And this is what you want, Emerson. You want a podium. You want a top 5. You know that Balliet is the top dog. I mean, at this point in the race, checkered flag's not going to be in the picture, but a top 3, top 5 could be. And as I mentioned, we hit the Dover next week. Maybe a track that everybody's comfortable with. They know Dover. So you get a top 5, top 10 out of this race, and then go to Dover next week. That's a win in my book.
Battling here up the hill, the S is Purnell, Kyle Vincent Gilbert, Kyle Westwood doing it out now. This is for 10th. Side by side up the hill, down the back. Go for it, Will.
Whoa, big slide out of Westwood, though, the 48. That's the 58, excuse me there. Big slide out of Gilbert. He holds the position through the bus stops. Emerson, he's feeling some heat behind him, though, with Purnell. He wants the top 10 spot. Also, Westwood's there. We have a 3-truck battle for that last spot inside the top 10.
Absolutely everyone leaving all on the track as Hensley has made his pit stop. Byron McDonald's still in the pit lane. But Blake Hensley has made his stop for the end of the race here. So he's put all his eggs into the basket. He's good to the end here. Now what can he do with it? 172 seconds back at the leader. Actually, the leader is right here, right behind him.
Yeah, Balliet's coming up on the 48 of Westwood here in that 12th position. Westwood cannot look at his rear view mirror, Emerson, as we come through the bus stops, and look how clean the 7 is as we're riding on board here on the Speed Racing Network. If you haven't already liked, shared, followed, all that good stuff, go ahead and do so. To catch this action that the 7's putting through, just absolutely looking so fresh, so clean here tonight.
I mean, a dominant performance out. Over 10 seconds on teammate Reese Schaefer. Jensick now being caught by Ryan Johnson and what could be a battle for the final spot on the podium. As that continues on, this next time by for Balliet past the start finish line will be 20 laps to go.
And as we watch this race sort of play out with 20 laps to go, Emerson, I do want to take some time and talk about some big news. As we see the 29 of Jensick heading down pit road here. He's been a top 5 driver all night long. This could be that second wave of pit stops, as we saw Lane Holzer headed down in the 61 as well. There was some big news across SRN this week, Emerson. If you want to talk to the folks at home about that, there's some new changes, some new cars possibly in the next seasons.
Yeah, so it was announced that we're going to have all 3 series running next season. The Cup cars once again. which I'm a big fan of. That's of course the series I was last running in. But the Cup car is so interesting, especially in the next gen. You know, the 5 gears, the sequential gearbox. You pit them differently. You drive it completely different. It feels so much different than a truck or a B car here on the service. I'm so happy that the next gen's coming back. I think it brings out an entirely different skill set out of these drivers. And the leader is way off track. It just blipped the off track for Balia. That's why I cut to him, but I think he's coming in this time. Here he comes.
Coming down to throw some fresh shoes on that 7. Looking like Forrest Gump out there in those Nike Cortezes. He is just running across the Glen here as he heads down pit road. This is only going to make him faster, Emerson, as his lap times are slipping to 114s. Look for those 112s once again as he exits pits road.
His teammate Reese Schaefer will take over the race lead. As Balliette's in, he's going to bring in Ryan Johnson, Brian McAvoy, Michael Sturgill, Michael Politis, Daniel Baldler, Kyle Vincent Gilbert, Kyle Westwood. All down the pit lane. The party is here.
Party is absolutely down pit road, and Purnell did not get an invite as he's still out on the racetrack, as well as Reese Schaefer in that 17. They'll stay out. They'll be the tip of the spear here with 19 laps to go. As Jensic's coming, Johnson's coming as well. They're all off of pit road. Balliette's off of pit road. Holzer's off pit road as well. Sturgill, everybody's starting to exit now with 19 laps to go. Can Balliette get the job done here? Emerson has to wait for Purnell and Schaefer to head down pit road, but they'll be coming here soon.
Absolutely. And Schaefer, the only point of him staying out this lap was just to pick up that extra bonus point. Get yourself another lap led on the season. Get that extra bonus point. Help yourself. Now, 85 points above the cut line coming into today's race. He should be good. But just another one in case, the 9 stage points wasn't good enough. One more bonus point for lap led. Help himself, maybe secure himself into the next round of the playoffs. Reese Schaefer goes. And Balliette has already passed Austin Purnell on the out lap. So even if Purnell stayed out, he's not going to be able to lead a lap. He was already passed by Joshua Balliette, and Purnell, wow, sliding in, but does make it down the pit lane.
18 laps to go here in the Glytch Truck Series. This is the second to last race here in the top 15. Next week will be that elimination race at Dover Downs. But here tonight, Emerson, we've talked about it a few times. Joshua Balliette has just absolutely put on a tutorial on how to race the Glen. He won the first stage by 7 seconds, trying to do better here with 18 laps to go. Has now an 11-second lead as he reassumes the lead all by himself.
Absolutely all by himself. The only person close, of course, is Jensic, 11 seconds back, but on the front end, it's probably Austin Purnell sitting in the pit lane right now. That's the closest person to him on the front end. Battle here with Ryan Johnson and Reese Schaefer. Schaefer on the cold tires, trying to get them up to temp. And Schaefer gonna try to see if he can chase down Sean Jensic. Now the thing here is Schaefer leapfrogged Ryan Johnson. No, he was already ahead of Ryan Johnson. Johnson was just trying to get past Schaefer. So this is the battle for second overall. If they can get by Jensic, they do have... Schaefer has 2 laps on Jensic, and Johnson has 1 lap pressure tires on Sean Jensic. Fastest lap of the day for the 7 truck of Joshua Balliette. Will, it was a 1:12.39.
Oof. Scary, Emerson. That's absolutely scary.
Was a 13.13.
I mean, it's one of those. I mean, it's one of those things that when you come into a road course race, you sometimes have a feeling that this could happen. This happens in the real life series as well. Sometimes guys are just locked in. They know these road courses, and if you can get in a groove, Emerson, you hit these corners, you can do exactly what Joshua's doing here. No mistakes. Absolutely clean. Not overdriving the corners. Just perfect timing. We saw it last night. We had 2 drivers to do that. We had a one-on-one battle to the finish. Here tonight, it's just one guy, and he is making it look easy as he crosses the line. Makes it 16 laps to go with a 13-second lead.
So continuing on here, Austin Purnell has gone 1 lap down. Out of the race, Dean Brummett, Brad Herman, Byron McDonald, Lane Doyle, Landon Cardulo, Connor Cunningham, and Gabriel Ellison. Make it 7 drivers out of this race. Ellison did not take the green flag today. If you want to say 6 of the 19 who started are out. Ellison never did take the green flag. Cunningham only made it 3 laps, Cardulo 4, and Doyle 8.
And folks, usually we jump around to the field and we've shown a lot of the 7 of Joshua Ballet at the top. But really, Emerson, if you look at that scoring pylon that we have up here in the booth, we have a couple battles, really. Reese Schaefer, Ryan Johnson could be one, Michael Sturgill, Lane Holzer for that 6th spot as well. But other than that, there are absolutely major gaps in between positions. We might be looking at guys possibly locked into their finishing spot with 16 laps to go.
Maybe, and only time will tell. We'll see what the tire differences are. Mostly everyone pitted around the same lap. As you heard, it was a big party on lap 36 when Balliet pitted. But drivers like Blake Kensley pitted on 33, and well, he's the last truck running now. Lane Hostler pitted on 35. Same with Sean Jensick. Reese Schaefer pitted on 37. And this is the battle here between a 2-lap tire difference between Schaefer and Jensick going on right now in front of you.
This is an important spot right here, Emerson. This is a battle for 2nd. You also see the 3rd place or 4th place truck just outside of the point of view right there. For Johnson, this could be a key opportunity. You have 15 laps to go here in this race. It's not going to be your favorite race. Your fastest lap time of the race is a 1:13, so that puts you sort of in the middle of the road. If you can get around, either Johnson or Schaefer in this opportunity, you could possibly put your truck on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. And both Schaefer and Johnson were on the podium. Jensick just elected to do the short pit. And that's how we've gotten this scenario right here. Now we'll see if Jensick's able to hold on with the short pit. With that short pit, of course, it gives him the track position. On the downside, it gives him 2-lap older tires. And Kyle Vincent Gilbert had an outside the carousel. He will continue on. Jensick opens up his gap.
Here, just a minute, Emerson.
Yeah, it looks like it. That is 0.6 of a second. Battle here between Hensley and Westwood. This is for 11th. Oh, sideways. Blake Hensley out of 11. Westwood's going to get a good run.
Good run here down the front stretch into that first corner. Most difficult corner in the racetrack, in my opinion. You head down, see if you can time it just right. He does. He goes to the inside, makes it through there, no problems. As we check in with the 29 machine of Jensick, still holding it down there in that 2nd spot. He's going to feel some heat, though, as the 17 of Schaefer's coming. 38 of Johnson's coming as well. They want to get that 2nd spot. That's just one extra playoff point that you can take home with you here at the end of this race. And we're going to ride on board with Schaefer as he's trying to hunt down Jensick in the 29.
Where's this move going to be made? You listen to how late on the throttle Schaefer gets up on corner exit to protect those rear tires. That will pay dividends later. And we saw Jensick once already under pressure today. Now, of course, that was Balliet. Oh my goodness, big time sideways over that exit curb. And Jensick sideways up the hill is Jensick.
He's slip sliding around those corners. He could be maybe rear view racing just a little bit. Maybe looking in that rear view, not focusing on these corners. That could be a thing that could be affecting the 17 truck as we're heading into the bus stop. Although he's made up some ground. He's on the back bumper of the 29.
Kept the same as last lap out of the bus stop, but this is now Jensick holding on for dear life in that 29 machine. By the way, just an update on Westwood and Hensley. They have swapped spots. That battle for 6th that Will was mentioning is close between Sergio and Hostler, but is not peaked just yet. We'll go to that once that sparks up. But the battle is here for that 2nd position.
And this is very important as the 17 is Schaefer, the 29 of Jensick. All of them want a shot at it. Johnson in that 38 when I mean a shot at it, Emerson, I mean a shot at the podium. Winning this question is about 15 seconds away. It's getting hairy here for a podium.
Jensic, brilliant defense up off the corner. Schaefer sent it. Gave it a good shot down into the corner. Got to the apex. But Jensic just throttled it off and kept his foot in it.
Whoa. As he almost looked to the inside there of the 29 as we go through the bus stop here with 12 laps to go. We're watching a battle for a podium position as Balliet has absolutely checked out. He has gone to the concession stands. He's ordered him some DoorDash. He is just waiting for his order in victory lane with a 15-second lead on the rest of the field. Although these three guys, they want to finish on the podium. We're watching Johnson, we're watching Schaefer and Jensic heading down to the last couple corners here with 12 laps to go.
Balliet across the stripe, makes it 11 to go. Schaefer had a good attempt at it there to get to Jensic last time down into turn number 1. We'll see here.
Ooh.
Jensic going
Might
defensive.
open the door there, Emerson. Bad corner out of the 29.
Schaefer not able to capitalize as much as he'd like. And off the corner, both of them over the exit curbing. Jensic having to counter steer over all those bumps.
And there goes the 17. He's going to stay low on that inside. He's going to put the pressure on the 29. It's really now that's just these two as Johnson's still there. He's just lingering behind the 17. 17 is just going to keep looking to the inside. That inside move here, Emerson. He's just going to keep trying to put that nose the inside of the 29. Knows the 29 is maybe suffering from a little bit of looseness out of the tail end of that truck. If we can force the 29 up the racetrack just a little bit, that might open that window of opportunity.
All of them, all three of them, Jensic, Schaefer, Johnson, throwing it off the curbing. Jensic, again, was, one of the prominent road racing drivers in what was the Lone Truck Series last time. SRN had 3 series. What would now be the B Truck Series. Jensic was one of those prominent road racing figures. Now Jensic has come up to the equivalent of what would be the Cup Series, and Johnson has a run on Schaefer.
Yeah, Johnson looks at the inside of Schaefer here. This would put Johnson on the podium, and he'll get it. Another clean pass out of the 38. He's not going to lock his sights on the 29 Jensic. And I got to say, Emerson, we've been watching drivers throughout this race. He kind of jumping back and forth from the lead to this pack here. The 38 of Johnson's looks very good. With his passes here tonight, they've been clean. No mistakes here on the corners. Been solid inside the top 5. Although he's going to feel the pressure from the 17 truck of Schaefer to the inside. Johnson's ran a very good race so far.
Good lunge from Johnson to cover that overtake attempt off. But all that battling has allowed Sean Jensic to open up the gap once again. Nearly 9/10 of a second as they all work their way up off the carousel. Back out in front, Joshua Balliet. He has a 16.25 second advantage over the field. A look in on Sturgill and Hostler. That battle never really sparked up. Got a little hot, but started to flame out a little bit. But Sturgill holds 6 over a Hostler. This now the closest battle on track after Johnson and Schaefer went to work.
Yeah, Hostler trying to look for that position to get around Michael Sturgill, who's also ran a very good race so far. Emerson up 5 spots since the drop of the green flag, and through everything that we've had, the caution break there, some of these spins, we've had no on-track caution so far here in this race. To be up 5 spots, it's a great race out of Michael Sturgill in that 90.
Baldler and Politis side by side up the hill. Politis trying to take the spot away from Baldler. This is for 8th. Up the hill to 6 truck, trying to keep his throttle down, and he clears back by Politis.
Just a one-on-one battle. We love to see it here at the Glen. A little back and forth action there. A little bump from that truck as we head into the corner. The 6 trying to hold on. The 77 trying to get her around here. Politis, Boulder, they're going at it one-on-one here at the Glen.
Battle here. This is Hensley on Kyle Vincent Gilbert. Side by side into the bus stop. Hensley's gonna ship it down into the bus stop. Over for curbing, into the grass a little bit. Now Kyle Vincent Gilbert, he's got the run on exit. What is he gonna do with it?
Oh, good blocking there. Or good moves out of Hensley. Still trying to throw the block on Gilbert. Westwood looking from afar. These are guys that are trying to get inside the top 10 just on the outside. Looking in. Hensley trying to hold off Gilbert. Westwood from afar. Who will be the last truck inside the top 10? Only 8 laps to go to decide it.
Things heating up here. This is Jensik now looking back. Another challenger is a ride for Sean Jensik. Jensik clips some of that inside guardrail as Ryan Johnson is closing that gap. Maybe starting to feel the pressure. Jensik misses the apex.
Oh no, as things are starting to crumble for the 29 with 8 laps to go. Johnson will go by the 29. Here comes Schaefer as well. And boy, Reese Schaefer has been fast. He's running 113s. Same lap times as our leader, a little bit slower, just a tad bit there, Emerson, but also in the 113s. Reese Schaefer has found his speed late in this race, trying to get everything he can as we're heading down the front stretch, making it 6 laps to go.
And so all of a sudden, Jensen goes from 2nd to 4th after, and that's all it takes. Will, it's just one little mistake. Uh-oh. Schaefer had a slow turn 1, though. Jensen trying to fight back. As Jensen, nearly into the rear end there of Schaefer. Very close between those two. Daniel Baudler had an incident. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But just like that, Will, one mistake, just missing the apex slightly in the carousel, could take you from a healthy spot on the podium to off the podium.
Yeah, and I know I've talked about it all race long here, basically been on repeat. You're watching Ballette check out with this race. You want to finish on the podium. You want to maybe finish inside the top 5, or at worst comes to worst, inside the top 10. And you've seen it throughout this race as we check out the Select Blinds instant replay. Another driver off the course there. That's the 6th.
Oh!
Oof, hard impact.
Oh my goodness. Daniel Baudler absolutely walloped the inside guardrail out of the carousel. We're going to take another look at that one. Biggest hit on the night. Goodness gracious. I'm right on board with this one. Little too happy on the throttle. Whammo.
And just couldn't get that truck turned. You see how hard he was on that wheel. Trying everything in his power to make sure he didn't make contact with that wall. Emerson just wasn't enough. And we'll watch it once again from this overhead view. Bang! Hard impact with the 6.
Unfortunate. Big time incident there for Daniel Baudler. Cal Westwood had an off track. See what it was. Looks like maybe he just carried a little too much speed. Wow! Misses the entry. Goes way off track there in turn 10, but no harm, no foul. Back to live racing action. Joshua Balliet has a 19-second advantage. 12 trucks now left running in this one as Baudler's incident has blown the engine. Probably expectedly after that big of a hit. So 12 trucks running, 11 on the lead lap. Purnell 1 lap down. And so now, Will, it's almost, except for one, if you're on the lead lap, you got a top 10 finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Gilbert, Hensley, Politis, even Westwood. Westwood has to really feel the pressure. Now they're in that 11th spot. You're the last truck on the racetrack. There's only 1 spot between you and the top 10.
But he's right there on Kyle, Vincent, Gilbert. And so we might have the Kyle and Kyle show once again here, Will. But this could be for the last spot on the lead lap. And so here we go. Sideways is Kyle Vincent Gilbert in front of Kyle Westwood. Also, things heating up between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We'll cut back to this as 2nd, 3rd, and 4th go at it here out of the carousel.
Top 10 pays points. That's how important that 10th position is. As we watch Johnson and Schaefer. Johnson, I talked about the run he's had here tonight. Up 3 spots from the drop of the green flag. He's just been lingering inside the top 5. Now inside the top 3. He could get a 2nd place finish here tonight. Looking good so far. Holding it down. That 38. Pretty cool paint scheme here tonight as well, Emerson, as they're off that last corner. Down the front stretch. Make it 4 laps to go.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson donning his primary paint scheme there in the purple. Number 38, Tiny Horse, premium member pilot. Number 38, Machine Schaefer, running in his Michigan Milk Producers Association truck. Again, a shout out to his father and his grandfather on the truck. And Jensic running at Sparkle and Shine, number 29 Machine for Aeons. They all roar down into the bus stop. 4 laps to go. We'll get back to this battle for 10th once again.
Battle for 10th as Westwood in the 48 looking to get around Gilbert. There he'll look in the first corner. See if he'll make a move. No, they'll cruise down here in the last couple corners. Emerson, this is the battle. As I'm looking at the scoring pylon, Joshua Balliet has now caressed the 20-second gap on Johnson there in second. But this battle for 10th is all the rage because of the playoff points that could be paid out as they're all by themselves here. Emerson on the backside of the Glen.
Gilbert throws it into the bus stop, misses the second apex, sideways through the center of the bus stop, side by side to the carousel. Gilbert on the inside, Westwood up high. Westwood wants to get the crossover. All of that, and Kyle Vincent Gilbert holds on to 10. Here comes Westwood.
Oh, Gilbert must have known that Johnson's right there. No, Westwood, he looks at the inside. He's going to push Gilbert up the track. Oh, so close there, Emerson. As Gilbert goes off the track, he feels the rumble strips. That'll kill the speed here for just a moment. As Gilbert stays to the inside, he slides. Oh, no.
He'll pound it off the outside wall, and that might be all she wrote for Kyle Vincent Gilbert. But wow. But Kyle and Kyle show has been epic today here at Watkins Glen, Will.
Absolutely, and I think what stands out to me, Emerson, you almost know as a driver when you get the indication that somebody is there at the Glen. We've seen it a few times here tonight. You know, these drivers running very, very clean lines. Then somebody starts to put the pressure on them. That's when you start to see them get loose, over driving corners, maybe over shifting a little bit. So it was definitely a little pressure, that sense that somebody's there is getting some of these drivers in this race.
Back to this battle for second, Will, and this, I'm gonna be real, this reminds me of the arguments in Formula One. You know, what would the races be without Max Verstappen? Well, imagine if all of his hard battling for second was her to win.
Right, exactly. And, you know, we look at the lead that Balliet has, and you look at Max Verstappen winning, I think I lost count. It was a 14, 15 races in a row there. I think winning for him probably got a little boring. Just like in this race for Joshua Balliet, he's been leading this race since the drop of the green flag, Emerson. And, you know, I look at races like this with huge gaps. You have to keep that mental focus. You got to understand at that point, you're not racing against anybody. You're racing against yourself. It's your own lines on the racetrack. It's your own strategy. I think, in my opinion, that makes the race even more difficult. It's you versus you out there.
Absolutely. Well, he's only got one more lap to battle with himself. And the confines here of Watkins Glen International, he has taken the white flag here at Watkins Glen in what's been a stellar and dominant performance tonight. I'd have to count well over 50 laps led. My guess would be 52 laps led for Balliet. The only laps he didn't lead were under the caution and on the restart. But just like Sonoma, gets 50 laps led and out of the carousel. Just has 2 more corners to go to solidify this one.
And this is how much of a dominant performance this is going to be, folks. Purnell, 12th position, a lap down. Gilbert in 11th is a minute and 11 seconds off of our race winner.
To turn number 11 for the final time, for the 5th time this season, Joshua Balliet is going to win here at Watkins Glen.
And we've said it once, we'll say it a couple more times, just an absolute dominant performance out of that 7. Just showed us how to get it done here at the Glen. Locked it in very clean, as now we see our podium come to fruition across the line.
Ryan Johnson, Reese Schaefer, Sean Jensick, Brian McAvoy will be the rest of the top 5. And we're at the point now we're tuned into the post-race show to see who finishes throughout the top 10. It's Sturgill 6th, Hostler 7th. Politis rounding his way through turn number 10. This will be for 8th over Hensley, Westwood, and Gilbert. A slow up off the corner for Michael Politis. Cross the line in 8th. Ninth place finish here for Blake Hensley, and to round out the top 10. And that spirited Kyle and Kyle show, it's Kyle Westwood getting 10th.
And that's important right there for Westwood. It's going to shut the door on Gilbert getting that top 10 here to end this race out. And Emerson, I cannot wait to talk to Joshua Balliet, who just, I think in all my racing calls in here in iRacing, that might have been the largest margin of victory that I've seen at a road course at over 20 seconds.
It's going to rival his win, I think, of a similar gap. Oh! Nearly puts it in the wall, trying to straight line burnout down the front straightaway here. The problem with trying to straight line burnout here, Will, is that front straightaway is angled downward down the hill. So Balliet having some fun. I don't know if he's going to try it again or what he's trying to do here. Is this a backwards victory lap? Looks like he's going from a Polish victory lap. Oh my goodness!
Whoa!
Not expecting that. Oh, yes. So remember, everyone's still trying to finish. Head down to the pit lane.
Yeah, there's still some guys out there. I think Joshua may have forgotten.
Going
that.
down through the boot.
There's the pace truck too.
Going through the boot. Here goes Balliet. It'd be something else. What if he ran this layout here, Will?
Hey, maybe it'll slow the 7 down a little bit after tonight's race. I think you're gonna put some anchors on those Goodyear Eagles to slow them down.
There's Balliet. He's worked his way through the toe. Now he's in the heel of the boot. No, that was the heel. Now that was the toe he just came out of. He's gonna be working his way towards the carousel. He's doing an entire lap around Watkins Glen here in reverse. Gonna fly up back into the racing surface through the cones. There he is on the carousel. And I guess when you dominated a race like that, it's all yours, man. The whole track is yours. Go for it. Oh, is that it?
That might have been it.
Not sure what happened there, but that's it for Balliet's celebration, I guess. We're gonna bring him on up. We'll talk to our race winner then, driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet. What happened there?
What do you mean?
He just went off the track. Was that it? Is the session timer over?
No, I just had my fun. I went through the boot. I did a burnout. Went through the boot and decided to park it over there where the fans are, where the Sunoco sign is. That's all.
But there you are. A dominant win today here. 20 seconds over the field. I know you had one earlier this season at Sonoma, very similar fashion, but this is your 5th win on the season as opposed to your 1st, and this one now puts you as the winningest driver on the season. Obviously, you were locked in at the green flag, but gives you that, free pass into the round of 10. Sounds like all things are going right so far for the 7 team as we're, getting into the thick of the playoffs.
Yeah, everything's looking good. Just going into the day, it was all week after a pit at Texas, and pretty much gave up the win because I didn't want to save fuel. I was telling my dad the whole week that I'm gonna win this week, don't worry. And then earlier today, when I woke up, he was like, "Well, you better win by 15 seconds. You've been telling me like all week." And I was like, "I don't know with the stage." So I did one better. I got 20 on him.
Still a phenomenal run. Who knows what it would have been without the stage caution. Already 7 at lap 15 and was on from there. A dominant performance here at Watkins Glen. Next up is Dover. Now you can go into Dover with clear mindset. You probably were going to go into Dover with that mindset anyway, with as big of a points margin as you had. But this is going to be the last time you're really secured into the next, round of the playoffs, unless you were to get a win in the round of 10. So how do you go about Dover, and then how do you set yourself up for the final 4 races?
Looking to Dover like I look at every week, just looking to add another win to the column.
Well, there it is. Driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet, with the dominant race victory tonight here at Watkins. Glen, congratulations, Mal, on your 5th win on the season. Best luck to you the rest of the way.
Yee, thank you.
And that was driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet. And Will, you're going to be sitting by with the winner of that heavy 3-truck battle that was Ryan Johnson, Reese Schaefer, and Sean Jensick. Ryan Johnson emerges as the winner. You're saying by, Will.
Yeah, that battle did rage on for multiple laps. I watched the 38 increase his starting position by those 3 positions by just lingering inside the top 5, waited his opportunities, got around the 17 trucker Reese Schaefer, as well as the 29 Sean Jensick there. Ryan, it was the Joshua Balliet show, but you got to feel pretty good with a second place finish.
Oh, it's it's a lot better than I thought I was gonna get coming into the night. I don't know what it was. I couldn't figure the track out in practice. Like last night, tonight, I was banging my head against the wall trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. And well, still had nothing for Josh. But yeah, second place, I'll take it.
What do you think? We talked during the broadcast of difficult aspects of the race, certain corners, certain things. What do you feel like makes a road course, especially the Glen, much more difficult than say like short track racing or high banks, things like that?
Uh, well, I think it had to do with some of the high temperatures on the track this time. I mean, it was like 120 degrees or something like that,
Oof.
and I think it just makes it really, really slippery. And me and my guys at Team Pilot, we were trying to figure out if we wanted to like run third gear for like the second half of the course, but then we realized, a couple laps into the race, that wasn't the way, and I started downshifting and just kind of playing around for like the entirety of the first stage, trying to figure out what I liked, and found something towards the end of it, and just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it definitely was working for you there. That second half of the race, you moved up through some of these guys that were pretty fast. Your fastest lap time of the race was a 113. That's better than Sean Jensick there in that 4th spot. But coming home second here tonight, my man, how you feel about Dover next week?
Dover is normally pretty fun. It's been a while since I've ran there in the truck, so it's gonna be interesting. I don't know exactly what to expect. I think there will be some drafting, but a lot of tire saving also. So I definitely need to get the practice in before next week, and I think we can have another decent run.
In the words of Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice here on SRN. But with that podium finish, Ryan, is there anybody that you wanted to shout out or any sponsors that helped this podium finish come to be?
Yeah, just all the admins at SRN putting us or putting on a good league. You guys for broadcasting. My team pilot, Mike P, and all of our premium members. Everybody out there tuning in and watching, and yeah, all the drivers for a really really good race again.
Well, Ryan, we appreciate you taking the time with us here, my man. You come home second at the Glen. Cannot wait to see that 38 truck at Dover next week. Great job on that podium finish.
Thank you.
That was driver
And now,
of the number 38, Ryan Johnson, with the second place finish tonight. Go ahead and bring on up third place finisher then, driver of the number 17, Reese Schaefer. And Reese, while you didn't get that second place finish, you are the only other driver to get a sub 1 minute 13 second lap time here walking that 1:12.9. Wild race in that battle for a second. No, it wasn't for the win, but what's going in your mind? How do you sift through all that? High battling with Johnson and Jensick.
Yeah, I mean, it was one for the ages, that's for sure. I mean, about 15 ago there, I I stayed out an extra lap to get a lap led, and I knew, I was like, man, it might bite me. I was like, I think I get around him though. Sure enough, lead the lap, come down pit road, come out, and I'm sandwiched between them. I'm like, all right, here we go, and just try to get. And I think I had maybe one opportunity early with Jensic if I sent in the bus stop, but I just hate sending it there because that's how we both get wrecked. So I, tried my best to get around him, but he kept being persistent and using all the track to his advantage. And then next thing you know, I get a bad exit out of the last corner, and Ryan gets by me. Now I'm 2 spots back. I'm like, oh god, now it's looking bleak because we're already so far on the run. Then Jensic, he ran wide in turn 1. I don't know if he got slowed down or not, or if that's why he went wide in the carousel and let us by. But yeah, then we got by him, and I just tried to with all my might to get past Jensic or Ryan rather, and couldn't do it. But a P3 is nothing to be ashamed of. It was other than the leader being gone, it was for second, third, fourth. It was a bunch of fun. So shout out to both Ryan and Sean for racing me clean as they always do. And so it was a lot of fun there for P2.
Seemed like a lot of fun. Now, Reese, I think this points finish is gonna solidify your ticket into the round of 10. How do you go about Dover, and then afterwards, how do you think about the final 4 races?
Yeah, Dover's should be fun. Like I said, I think my last week interview, if Timothy Latham's there, he'll probably be up front 'cause that's his track. But yeah, Dover should be fun, and then on to the round of 10, we go to Michigan, which is always home track. So it's gonna be a plate track, so it'll be a little bit of chaos, but hopefully we have fun there and do well. And then I always like Richmond. That's always a fun track, especially in the trucks here. And then to round it out with Nashville, I'm looking forward to those tracks. So I'd say I'm looking forward to the next round definitely. Gotta stay consistent like we've been. These last 2 weeks are great building blocks for continued momentum. So we'll just kind of keep it going, and hopefully Dover, I'll be talking to you guys again.
Right on. Well, there is driver of the number 17, our second place finisher tonight, Reese Schaefer. I'm sorry, third place finisher tonight, Reese Schaefer. Second place, I guess, if you want to, say Mal was gone. But
yeah,
Reese
true.
In his own class.
Yeah. I felt like it was second place. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. So.
Reese, congratulations on your podium finish tonight here at Watkins, Glen. Best luck to you next time out at Dover.
Thank you, Emerson. Appreciate it.
Right on. That was driver of number 17. And Will, we had a fun one tonight here at Watkins, Glen. We have some post-race results to go through. Start working our way through them. They'll be coming up on you momentarily. So they are Joshua Balliet with the dominant race victory tonight. Alongside, 20 seconds back will be Ryan Johnson trying to fend off Reese Schaefer and Sean Jensic in that spirited battle for a second. Brian McAvoy will finish 5th. Michael Sturgill 6th. Lane Hostler 7th. Michael Politis 8th. Kyle Westwood 9th. And Kyle Vincent Gilbert round out the top 10. Will, you're going to have pretty much most of Heartbreakers Row.
Yeah, Blake Hensley will be the last truck remaining on the lead lap as he finishes 2nd and 1 minute and 40 seconds off the pace of our race winner. And here comes that Heartbreak Row as Austin Purnell will be our first truck a lap down, finishing in 12th. Daniel Boulder, after that incident into that hard impact, he still gets a top 15 finish there in 13th. Dean Brummett in that 66 finishes 14th. Brad Herman 15th, and then it gets into guys who wish they probably didn't take on the Glen. Brian McDonald there in the 16th position. Lane Doyle, Landon Cardello, Connor Cunningham, and Gabriel Ellison will round out our field here tonight.
So that is how the 20 drivers who showed up tonight, the 19 who started tonight, come to the checkers or not this evening. It was a fun one tonight. Will, I know Mal, Joshua Balliet, he was way out there, 20 seconds out in front of the field. But great battles all through the field, great strategy, and a fun one here at Watkins Glen. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Absolutely, and I love to see those battles for that 10th position. I talked about money positions here in the Glytch Truck Series. It's playoff time, so even though you watch Balliet dominate, you want to get playoff points. Guys are battling out for the 10th spots. Guys are battling out for those 5th positions. And also on that podium, we saw an incredible battle down the stretch there. But Emerson, I think we have to reclassify this stream on YouTube and Facebook as a how-to video, because Joshua Ballette just showed us how to win here at the Glen.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was just in his own league. He kept his tires in one piece, and once he got to clean air, it was setting sail from there. But I think that'll do it for us here from the Empire State, though. Of course, a huge shout out to our series partners, Fiverr, Glytch, and Z-Girls for all of their heavy lifting and respective work on each day. Glytch, of course, the Speed Race Network Glytch Truck Series sponsor. This evening, make sure you use code SRN10 for 10% off of your Glytch purchases. Admin Box has been on your screen all evening long, and of course, the starting grid presentation presented by Admin Box. Make sure you use code SRN-box, that's BOXX, for 10% off of your Admin Box purchases. Butt Kicker, of course, our commercial partner here at Speed Racing Network. Didn't hear from them with the only one caution on the evening, so we will get a message from them before we close things out tonight. EPI, of course, with our Victory Lane presentation. It's like blinds, doing some lifting tonight with the incident replays this evening. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, make sure you scroll down and see that big red subscribe button. Go ahead and click it and make it gray. Make it say subscribed. Help us reach our subscription goal here at the Speed Racing Network YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate it. While you're down there, guys, when you see that bright blue button that says join, you might be wondering, join what? Well, for $4.99 a month, you can join the Speed Racing Network membership program. You can get access to loyalty badges, custom emojis, exclusive wallpapers and photos, early access to new content, member shoutouts, members only live chat, and priority reply to comments by hitting that blue join button next to the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And a shout out to all of our social media outlets, our Facebook page at facebook.com/Speed Racing Network, our X page at x.com/Speed Racing Net, our Instagram at instagram.com/Speed Racing Network, our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Speed Racing Network, our Twitch at twitch.tv/Speed Racing Net, our LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/Speed Racing Network, and of course the website where you can keep everything SRN for each of your respective series, news, points, schedules, and all that jazz is available to you at Speed Racing Network. Well, that'll do it then from the Empire State. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Speed Racing Network, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night when the Z-Girl series keeps on road racing, turning left and right here from Watkins, Glen, or next Wednesday night when the Glytch Truck Boys try to tackle the Monster Mile.